Hello and welcome to our new topic entitled Vibration. So yours truly presented by me, Engineer Raymond Solas. Okay, so vibration. So by definition, vibration is the periodic motion of a body or system of connected bodies displaced from a position of equilibrium. So usually ito yung pagka nag-vibrate, meaning it moves from an equilibrium position, which is hindi gumagalaw, and then it will try to go back to that equilibrium position. So kaya siya tinawag na periodic motion. So let's tackle what are the types of vibration. So we have the free and forced vibration. What is free vibration? So an example of free vibration is when the motion is maintained by gravitation or elastic restoring forces, such as swinging motion of a pendulum or vibration of an elastic rod. So ganon yung mangyayari doon. So if we have, for example, yung pendulum that have this free vibration, so it will be maintained by the elastic restoring force. Force vibration naman, this is caused by external periodic or intermittent force applied to the system. So usually by means of machine. So example yan yung mechanical vibrator. Okay, so both types of vibration can either be damped or undamped. So when you say damped, so there is resisting force that try to stop the motion. Pag naman undamped, so the motion is not stopped. So undamped vibration can continue indefinitely. So kung walang damping, so yung motion mo will just continue because the analysis is frictionless. But in reality, all vibrating bodies is damped. Okay, so the simplest type of vibrating motion is undamped free vibration. So let's say we have this block and spring model. So you're going to have displacement by stretching the spring. So the spring have this K value, which is you call that as the stiffness, and then if you stretch that, you will have a displacement x from the equilibrium position. So based on the free body diagram, the block has weight equals to mg, and then since that is planked in the surface, so we have this normal force, and then the force resisting the stretching is F equals to kx, the spring force. So thus when we apply the Newton second law of motion, so we have to the right is positive along x, so summation of forces is equals to mass times acceleration on x direction. So with that we have negative kx equals mx dot dot. So anong ibig sabihin nun? X is the displacement, k is the stiffness, m is the mass, and x dot dot is the second derivative of x, which is also the second derivative of displacement. The first derivative of displacement is velocity, and the derivative of the velocity is acceleration. Thus, x dot dot is similar to the a sub x. Note that the acceleration is proportional to the block's displacement. So, proportional. Motion described in this manner is called simple harmonic motion. So, since ang mangyayari, meron tayong elastic restoring force, yung kx. Okay, so, and then may acceleration. Therefore, ang assumption dito, wala tayong dump. So, it will continue to move indefinitely. So, ang tawag natin dun is simple harmonic motion. And rearranging the previous equation, magkakaroon tayo ng standard form, which is x dot dot plus omega n squared x equals 0. So, ano ba yung omega n squared? So, from the previous equation, so meron tayong value ng k, value ng mass, related to the so-called natural frequency. So, yun ang ginawa natin. So, the natural frequency is the square root of k over m. So, since na-factor out natin siya as k over m, so therefore, the omega squared n is k over m. Okay, so in this example naman, this is a suspended block. So unlike the other one, it is blank at the surface. This is suspended. So what will happen is the block will naturally go down due to the gravity. So therefore, the force on the spring will be equal to the weight plus the ky, or the k, or yung stiffness or yung elastic restoring force natin. Thus, applying the Newton's law, F is equal to ma. So we have from here, so negative W minus ky. So bakit siya naging negative? Kasi yung direction ng force natin is downward. So therefore, ang positive orientation is downward. Yun yung rule natin sa engineering mechanics. So the first direction of motion is positive. Kaya ginawa natin siyang negative W minus ky plus W equals y dot dot. So the y dot dot is the acceleration on the y-axis. And then standard form ulit. Rearranging, so magka-cancel lang yung W, matitira yung ky and m y dot dot. So ito ulit yung standard form natin. Kung gagamitin naman natin on the y direction. Okay, so let's find out the general solutions for this second order linear differential homogeneous equation. So let's say ito yung forma natin ng differential equation natin. So 2 degree kasi x dot dot second derivative, tapos ayan, x equals to 0. So ano yung mga possible solution for this differential equation? Let's say halimbawa x is equals to sine t. Okay, kasi ang parameters natin, variables, is displacement tapos time. So x is displacement, yung t natin is the time element. So pag derivative natin yung sin t, magiging x dot so equals to cosine t. At pag derivative ulit natin, this will become negative sin t. So how about kung gawin naman natin x is equals to cosine t? Pag derivative mo, magiging negative sin t. Pag derivative mo ulit, magiging negative cosine t. Ngayon, tingnan natin kung magsasatisfy siya using this kung magiging solution ba siya dito sa equation na to. So yan, sinubstitute lang natin yung x dot dot negative sin t plus sin t. So that is x dot dot plus x. So negative sin t plus sin t is obviously 0. Okay, try natin yung isa. We can see na yung ganun ulit yun, negative cosine t plus cosine t is equals to 0. Okay, so meron pa bang ibang solution? Try naman natin na mag-introduce ng arbitrary constants, no? So let's say x is equals to a sin t, x is equals to b cosine t. So for example, since meron tayong omega n, ito yung gawin nating solution. So derivative natin yan, that will become x dot equals cosine omega n, tapos derivative ng angle omega n equals omega n cosine omega n t. And then the second derivative will be omega n. So derivative ng cosine is negative sine times derivative ng angle is omega n. So magiging negative omega n squared sine omega n t. So tingnan natin, posible ba siyang maging solution nitong equation 22-1. So ito yun, ano? So just follow the format lang. X dot dot. So kunin mo yung formula or yung equation na nakuha natin sa x dot dot and i-substitute natin yung value ng x, yung sine omega n t multiplied by omega n squared, and you can see na magsi-zero siya. Okay, so therefore we can say that the solution for x is equals to, or yung the solution para do sa differential equation natin is x is equals to a sine omega n t plus b cosine omega n t. So constants of integration a and b. Ngayon, if we apply derivatives, we can have the formula for velocity x dot and acceleration x dot dot as this. So velocity is equals to x dot equals a omega n cosine omega n t minus b omega n sine omega n t, and while acceleration is x dot dot equals negative a omega n squared sine omega n t. Okay, kasi cosine magiging negative. Tapos minus b omega n squared cosine omega n t. Take note that the angle here, since ano siya, no, hindi siya degrees kundi naka